Welcome to Baldur's Gate, a veritable nest of rats and vipers clinging to the rocky slopes overlooking the Chanthar River. From their high perches in the upper city, the local nobles, known as Patriars, gaze down with veiled contempt upon the common rabble in the grim lower city, which hugs the foggy harbor. The whole of Baldur's Gate reeks of blood, crime, and opportunity. One can easily fathom why pirates and traders are drawn to this place like flies to a carcass. Following the river farther east would eventually lead you to Elturel, capital of the Holy Land of Elturgard, or at least that was the case until 10 days ago. The flood of refugees from Elturel has gotten worse since the news first arrived that the city has fallen. Everyone is saying Baldur's Gate is next, but no one knows truly who or what has claimed Elturel. The Patriars pay a mercenary army called the Flaming Fist to protect their interests in Baldur's Gate, and by extension the city itself. The Flaming Fist has gained even more power since their charismatic leader, Ulder Ravengard, claimed the title of Grand Duke a few years ago. Apparently, Ravengard is missing. In his absence, the Flaming Fist has sealed the city gates to staunch the flow of refugees. No one is allowed in or out. All of this was brought to your attention shortly after you were drafted by the Flaming Fist to defend the city. Your orders are to speak to Captain Zodge at the Basilisk Gate, which pierces the city's eastern wall and takes its name from the various statues that rest in its niches and perch atop its battlements. Unseen beyond the sealed Basilisk Gate, a dirt road stretches through the outer city slum to the bridge known as Worm's Crossing, then to distant realms beyond. Dozens of Flaming Fist soldiers are trying to control an angry mob of commoners eager to leave the city. Armed with only a vague description of Captain Zodge, a tall man with long black hair and a leather eye patch. It takes you a while to find him. A fight breaks out between soldiers and commoners, and you finally spot the wanted captain as he wades into the fray and begins throwing punches. Just another day in the City of Blood. Okay, well that was our intro. Hope you guys liked it.
Very nice.
I'm excited.
I quit.
Okay, you're banned. We will now have everyone introduce their characters now that you know the setting. We will go in the same order as before. So what I want you to do is give your name, a description of your character, and something someone would have recognized in a 5-minute or so conversation. At this point, I'm pretty sure no one actually knows each other all that well from your backstory, so this is just kind of, you're given orders to go to this guy, and you're just meeting up for the very first time.
Okay. So my character's name is Ruin. It's a tiefling, average height, average build, carries around a trident with a shield strapped to his back and wearing chainmail. Horns are kind of straight, curvy, blackish, going straight up in the air. Skin is slightly faded red. Doesn't look like he's smiled in a while. And it's something you would know if you had been around for 5 minutes. You're certain he has not smiled in a while. That's probably about it.
Aragoth, go ahead.
Aragoth is a half-orc. He's got olive green skin and yellow eyes, dark brown hair. You'd most likely be seeing him kind of tucked in a corner somewhere of a tavern or something, kind of keeping a defensive posture. He likes to have all the entrances kind of like in his field of view. He has a serious demeanor, but if anybody actually makes an attempt to talk to him, he kind of is a little bit more inviting than you would expect. But yeah, doesn't seem like you would want to mess with him too much. He's slow to make friends, but he isn't afraid to make any of them. Usually decked out in leather armor, usually has a sickle by his side and a bow and quiver.
Okay, Takari, go ahead.
Okay, well, Takari, she is a wood elf. Ginger hair, pale skin, green eyes. She's somewhat tall. She's about 5'8", slender build. She's hopeful looking, curious, somewhat as if you could say maybe naive, maybe, but not naive in the way that she'll just approach anybody, but naive in the way of the world. She's been kind of isolated most of her life. She's a little fearful of people, very uncharismatic. But she does have that like twinkle of hope in her eyes, that maybe she can find answers to things that she seeks out. She's kind in nature, and she will help people, and that's very apparent on her face. You know, she's very sweet looking in the face, almost Pictish. If you're gonna go historically, but she, like I said, she's very wary of people. She does. 1 second. Sorry. She does. She does use long bow, and a sickle and a dagger. She also has bagpipes, and she's very excited to learn how to play them well, because currently she does not.
I expect a very good rendition someday.
Amazing.
So we'll go Belgara next.
All right. Belgara is a human. She's a little tall for a human female. She's just shy of 6 foot, with an athletic build. She has pale gray eyes, and her skin is a warm ivory color. She has long curly brown hair that reaches about to her hips, and the most prominent feature of her is this singular lock of hair that's just like bright silver gray in the front of her, kind of like starting at her widow's peak and going down one side, framing her face. She is dressed in a fine sapphire-hued robe that has a braided leather belt, and she's got a large silver amulet around her neck that has an owl carved into it. She's very beautiful and very poised, and she takes a lot of pride in her cleanliness. And she often smells like rose water. Her clothing is always well tended to, and though the fabrics look very rich in quality, she still manages to appear very modest. She's got a very warm and welcoming atmosphere about her, something that feels very familiar, almost like a kind aunt or a motherly figure, though she's still very poised and stern at the same time. But you know that sternness isn't a harshness, it's more of she tends to be a little more on the serious side, even though she is very warm and a very caring person at her heart.
For now, at least. We'll go to Nigel.
Okay, so Nigel is a forest gnome. He's about flaxen, like olive-skinned, dark hair. He's got gray eyes that seem to be alive with wanderlust. He looks pretty young, because he is. He's about 30 years old. Pretty young for a forest gnome. And he hasn't really divulged much about his past. What you all know is that he's from a small forest to the east, and that he's said he's come to Baldur's Gate to make it big. And since traveling with him for a little while, you've noticed him occasionally pocket a coin here or there from some passerbys.
All right. Good job, everyone.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Thanks, Dara.
There's so many good players in this game.
Good work, everybody. See you in 2 weeks.
Oh my god, knock it off.
Captain Zaj notices the party arrive. He brushes the dirt and blood from his red uniform before addressing you. You must be the temporaries. The refugee crisis has stoked fears that Baldur's Gate might suffer the same fate as Elturel, of which nothing remains but a hole in the ground. Apparently our Grand Duke Ulder Ravengard was visiting on a diplomatic mission when the city was destroyed. Coincidence? I think not. The Knights of Elturgard call themselves Hell Riders. A few of them have escaped from the destruction and think we're somehow to blame for Elturel's downfall. What a bunch of self-righteous rabble-rousers.
Hi, Phantom.
We're arresting them on sight, but that's left us short-handed to deal with another problem. For that, I need your help. These badges will signify your right to investigate the city on my orders. No one would think twice to give you any trouble.
I like that idea.
Okay, so if you all look onto your right side, under the journal, I have given you your emblem of the Flaming Fist.
Sweet.
Oh, that's awesome, dude.
This will help me avoid trouble, huh?
Well, it should. At least with people who follow the laws.
Sounds
You will see me updating your journal periodically. I will give you short copies of my notes, essentially. So if you ever forget something, I will try to put it in those journals. So be on the lookout.
So Nigel gets his badge and he puts his fist up for a fist bump for the party.
Rowan just looks at him and scoffs and turns his head.
Aragolf kind of like puts his fist to the side a little bit, like low, without really looking.
Sakari's very confused by this movement, but she looks over the badge and just nods along, but kind of is confused as to why we're fist bumping.
Well, Nigel looks a little dejected that more people are joining in.
Does Belgara do anything?
Yeah, Belgara joins in on the fist bump. Why not? She doesn't want Nigel to feel sad or left out of anything. She does it mostly for his hubris.
Nigel goes, yes.
Hopefully we can avoid trouble. That's my main goal here.
Trouble follows me.
As long as we didn't start it.
Captain Zaj continues. Baldur's Gate has long been plagued by the followers of the Dead Three, the gods Bane, Baal, and Mirkul. I thought we wiped them out, but apparently not. These purveyors of fear and death are taking advantage of the current crisis to commit murder sprees throughout the city. As my appointed deputies in this matter, you will have license to kill these wretches on sight. We have received reports of dead bodies showing up at Insight Park. So far we have discovered 4 victims. Seek out Tormus the druid. He's the groundskeeper and we'll have more information. I'll see that you each receive 300 gold pieces in addition to my gratitude, which is worth considerably more if you manage to solve this case.
Okay.
We're seeking Tormus the druid where?
At Insight Park.
Aragorn takes out his little notebook and quill, starts writing down notes.
And who are we going after there? I'm sorry. Can you name the 3?
So you are searching for cultists of the gods Bane, Baal, and Mirkul, otherwise known as the Dead 3.
How far is this location?
You'll find it. You can see my ping right here. So you guys are here. You need to go down here. It'll take like a half hour to walk there.
Am I the only person here that's actually from Baldur's Gate?
I'm from Baldur's Gate.
Okay, cool.
Yep. I was gonna ask that actually. I will. Is anyone else from Baldur's Gate?
My character is from Daggersford.
Or lived long enough here that you would know where places are?
Okay, so Aragorn kind of has been doing like not really mercenary work, but he's like an armed escort for a lot of the people in Baldur's Gate. I'd say he's been around in the town for maybe like a year. He kind of hates being here, but he's just doing it for the job. But he only knows Baldur's Gate from just walking people around to get them where they need to go.
Yeah, Takari would not be from any new to the city. She'd be definitely somebody who stays in the woods, the wildlands, any like outlanding areas. So she would be very unfamiliar with those areas.
Hey Duro, since Ruin is from Baldur's Gate as well, and my character has a folk hero background, would he know about my character to some degree?
I would say yes. So, did you decide which town you're from?
So my character is from the Outer City.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so she's from the Outer City portion. If you're looking head on to the map that's up right now, it's the portion all the way to the lower right side along the coast.
Okay, then Ruin would know of Belgra.
Okay.
Basically what you would know of her is that she's kind of a bit of a Robin Hood character in the part of the Outer City that she's from, and that most like noblemen or richer people who have poorer inclinations towards the poor people of the Outer City know to circumvent that part of the Outer City and maybe go through one of the other gates, because they've likely heard of a sorceress in the area who has no problem charming men and stealing all their gold.
I've heard that exact story from people about you.
And you would primarily know because she's got that silver lock in her hair, and that's her defining feature.
Yeah, hard to be nondescript with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, my Aragoth has the far traveler background, so he kind of sticks out just because of his like orcish appearance. But other than that, he's not very he doesn't really like he doesn't bring a lot of attention to himself, so he's only known as like a wanderer in a town, basically.
Yeah. So Ruin and Belgara and Argos will know around the city. So you won't have to like ask for directions or anything like that.
Okay.
Wunderbar.
I was going to give you my DM map, but there's a place I don't want you to know about just yet. That happens to be marked on it.
Details. Are you rabble ready to seek out this park?
Is there anything we should prepare ourselves with?
Now you are vampire.
Thanks,
Courage.
Butcher!
Spine?
13 months! Holy
Good call.
crap!
Got spine at
Awesome.
least. I don't know about courage. It's more just not being dumb.
Takari, she just like quietly nods vigorously, like she's very ready.
Okay, you all head out to Insight Park.
Okay.
Following Zaj's orders, you arrive at Insight Park. The park rests on a steep hillside interspersed within the lush green vegetation. You notice bits of refuge. In the center of the park lives a grand tree which towers over all others. At the back of a jutting outcrop, you see a tiny hut. 1 second. Sorry. You see a tiny hut. A dwarf man tends to a small garden out front.
Anybody here want to do the talking?
Yeah.
Takari, oh sorry.
Go ahead, Bones.
No, I was just gonna say Takari shakes her head vigorously this time.
Bilgara kind of like smooths the fabric of her skirt and steps forward very elegantly towards the druid and kind of does a little like clears her throat at him to get his attention. Sir, are you Tormus by any chance?
Yes, what do you want?
My party has been sent here by General Zaj. He says you may have information on the cultists of the Dead Three.
I want nothing to do with you, Flaming Fists. You've done nothing to help put a stop to these murders.
I am so sorry that you feel this way, sir. Perhaps me and my friends can change your attitude on the fist. Why else would we be here seeking information?
Aragoth pulls out his notebook again. We're here to help.
Nigel
Such a
leans
cop.
back. Nigel leans to the side and gets a big thumbs up and a huge grin.
Ruin spits on the ground.
Yes, well, as you can see, we are so excited to help with the issue. If only we could get some information from you, maybe?
Well, I can say even more cooperative than those flaming thugs that came here yesterday. I will show you where I found each one. First stop, the reading tree. The dwarf brings you to the large tree. 10 days ago, I found this one. Edwarda, here at the foot of the reading tree. I'll give you the names in a second.
Okay.
2 days later, down in the gullies, I found Madhuri Akila and Live Dormidis. A fisherman named Zendrea Barony was found just outside the park boundaries by Levy's sister nonetheless the next day. Yesterday, we found the newest victim, Annika Silverleaf. She was found under the reading tree as well. Another thing of note, each of them were found with the ritualistic carvings associated with the cult of the dead. 3 upon their discovery.
Nigel asks, what were they carved into?
Their skin, of course.
Ew.
That's obscene. Can I do? Are we at the scene right now?
You are at the reading tree. As he was describing the setting, he was pointing to each in the direction of each body. But the first one of Edwarda, and Annika Silverleaf were under this reading tree. I'll give you a note in this right now, which will detail all that.
Okay. Can I head over to the tree and do an investigation?
You're at the tree already?
All right. I guess an investigation roll then?
Yes, go ahead.
First roll of the campaign, buddy. Make it good.
Oh, shit.
Man.
Wait.
It's a great start.
It's fine.
Can Nigel help with this roll?
You can search around as well. As you two are looking around, the dwarf will continue on saying, if you're able to discover who's behind this, I'll offer you a prophetic vision from the reading tree. Not many have had the privilege. As for the bodies, they were carted to Candle Hollow's mortuarium. I'm sure Lena Candle Hollow, owner of the establishment, will be able to be of assistance.
Did they all have the same carvings on them?
As a matter of fact, they did.
I see. And can you tell me, other than the reading tree, where the other bodies were found, was there anything special about those locations?
Not particularly, no. Two were found in gullies, and one was found just on the outskirts of the park.
And would you say there is anything special about any of the victims? Anything that sticks in your mind about any of them? Perhaps they were prominent figures, or...
None that I recognized. I didn't want to touch them. I'm a bit afraid of bodies, you know. But anything that was on them was taken with them to the moratorium.
we might want to head there.
Yes, I see. I'm truly sorry for you having to see such horrible things. I do hope you recover soon.
So Aragoth is looking at the carvings on the bodies, and he wants to be able to kind of describe them to anybody who isn't inclined to look at the...
I don't think the bodies are there. I think the bodies are at the morgue.
Yeah, the body's at the morgue. He just knows that there's carvings on 'em. He didn't recognize them.
Good.
Belgara's gonna look to Aragoth and say, I believe you're correct, dear Orc. I think we should make our way to the morgue and investigate a little deeper. Did you find anything by the tree?
Not much, just some patches of where they laid.
I see.
Or Nigel's search. Let me see. He got an 11. Nothing of note was found by either one of you.
Oh,
Anybody else want to give it a shot?
Takari can.
Yeah, you're an awkward little bean. Go rustle around in the tree.
You know, just wiggle around in there.
You little feral child.
Is that my investigation roll?
Yes, you just click on investigation.
Welcome back, Mask.
7.
Does anyone else want to look?
Yeah, I'll go.
Yeah, you go ahead. You go first. I'll go last.
All right, okay. Yeah, Belgara walks up and kind of crouches down by the tree. Oh, coming in hot.
There you go.
Woohoo!
nice.
Nice. You find anything?
1 second, I'm typing up that note that I said I would give you guys.
Oh, I love notes. Oh my god.
There's going to be a lot of notes.
Yeah, I already got my notepad
Nice.
open. Ready to go.
I've
My
already
drink
taken
is
more notes
gone.
back
I have
than
no
did
bog
our entire
water.
Last game creep. I was role playing in real life that my character couldn't read or write, so I refused to take note.
I think that's great. It's brilliant.
That's how I am in hobbies game because my dwarf. The running joke, because there was a huge section where we were underwater and we were all speaking to each other underwater, so we had to read lips. So the running joke was, because I can't read lips. So I never understood anybody talking to me, and they were
So good.
so annoyed by me because my character was also like the run in and go girl.
So good.
Okay, you should have that note in there. Also, I gave you your discussion with Captain Zach.
Thanks, Drew.
Thank you.
As for what Belgara found, on the tree, Belgara found a strange alchemical substance.
Can I roll to see if I know what it is?
You can roll either Arcana or Medicine.
Woo! I like the way this is starting.
She's a smart girl. Very smart.
You discover it is an alkaline solution of wood, ash, and lime. And this alchemical is often used in tanneries
there
to
you
rotten and loosen the hair of hides.
Oh. Hey, Freestyle, thanks for the follow. So, Bulgaric, you guys see her, and she's kind of like crouched by the tree, and she touches it, and there's like a substance on her fingers that she's smelling. And she looks somewhat concerned. She turns to the group, and I say, well, gentlemen, I believe you may have overlooked something. But there seems to be a very strange substance on this tree. I recognize this substance. It's something that we use to tan hides with to remove the skin for tanning. It might be an interesting note to keep in the back of our minds as we go to the morgue. She looks to Tormus and she says, "You wouldn't happen to know anything of this, would you?"
Can't say tanning is my specialty.
I see. Perhaps you know a tanner in the city. Or maybe Belgara would know that, actually. I don't know. I feel like she would. She's grown up in Baldur's Gate her entire life. She's never left.
Belgara would know that there are numerous tanneries in the city, and you wouldn't necessarily pinpoint one just from finding these chemicals.
All right. I guess it's good just in case they need to go talk to someone about it. They find anything else. She stands and steps away from the tree and looks to the party and says, "Well, I believe we should be on our way, yes. Time is ticking, and the longer we wait, the more people I fear become in danger."
Aragoth nods, puts his notebook away.
Do you want to search any of the other locations which had bodies discovered?
Oh, yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yep.
On second thought, perhaps we should go look at some of the other areas before we make our way there.
How close are the other sites?
What's up, Hops and Dragons?
Within walking distance.
I know, I'm really, like,
far
this
is
is
the
our
mortal?
very, very first stream of this. Like, we just started this campaign, so I'm super excited.
Let me see. Don't think I have my note for that.
So Aragoth kind of like puts his finger on his chin and he looks at Bagara and
Hell
says,
yeah. I'm glad
"I
you're
feel like
here.
this party should have a leader."
This is Baldur's Gate. Belgara's gonna look at Aragoth and nod and say, I believe you're correct. I would love to fill this position for you. I feel like I am a natural in this area.
Yeah, Aragoth nods in agreement. That was his intention. Well, you have my vote for leader.
Thank you, Orc. I appreciate that.
I guess we all hear this conversation. If that's the case, then Nigel shrugs, says, "Fine with me."
Takari finally speaks pretty much the first time. She looks over at Belgara and gives her a once over and says, "Yeah, I think that you're probably the best suitable choice to lead us. I hope that you lead us well."
I'll do my best, child.
Ruin walks right up into your face
Oh, I'm loving it already.
and says, "Lead or don't lead, I will follow or not. But be advised, historically, the more time people spend in my company, the more death and destruction they bring and see."
I see. I will keep that in mind.
Ergoth taps his sickle at his hip.
In that case, how about Nigel and Aragoth? How about you go down to the gully and see what you can find? And me and Takari will go to the park boundary and see what we find there. Ruin, would you wait here with Tormus?
No. I refuse to be around a druid any longer than I have to. And he starts walking off in the direction that you're planning on going.
Very well, then.
Okay.
Let's go see what we find, and we'll meet back here when we're done and discuss our findings before we go to the morgue. Sound good for everyone? Fucking
do.
Cygnus is the
Alright, I mean-
best.
Nigel says, works for me. And then asks Aragoth, where are we going again?
You know, I forgot because of the little altercation they had there. Where are we going, Belgara?
Belgara kind of like shakes her head with a little sigh and says, the gullies, boys, the gullies.
Okay. Argoth just steps that way, starts heading over.
So
Nigel rushes after.
the mortuarium's just north of you, in this area. I don't have an exact area, but I know it's in the just north of you.
So she just sent Nigel and Aragoth to the gully to check and see if they see anything, any evidence there. And me and Takari and Ruin are going to the park boundary to see if we can get any evidence over there, search around for anything before we go to the mortuary.
Okay. I want everyone to roll investigation.
It's my favorite.
Alrighty.
Oh, good rolls. Come on.
Very nice.
Oh.
Atta girl.
Oh, poor sweet Akari. She's
Poor
so
sweet baby.
hopeless. She's doing her best.
We're only like a couple yards away from each other. Like we're
Pick up
all
a
in
rock,
this
licking
park
it.
basically,
No
and we're
Yeah,
going off to
pretty
the
much.
different
Akari's
areas
just really into licking nature in general.
where bodies were found, so we
and
can look for
maybe also
evidence.
putting
But we're
some
not
mud in
splitting
her
the party.
mouth to try and eat.
Love it.
Okay, so Baduri
I know, right?
was being investigated by Aragoth and Nigel, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so Nigel finds in the gully papers. They're a bit muddy, but you can still decipher what they contain.
Nice.
The papers appear to authorize a refugee to enter and reside within Baldur's Gate.
So Aragoth's kind of looking around, but he's keeping Nigel in his field of vision, and he sees him kind of looking at the paper, I guess. Should I roll perception for that, or?
No, he's doing that in the open.
Okay.
Nigel calls Aragoth over, and Aragoth, what do you think of these? Shows him the authorization to enter and reside in Baldur's.
Were these here where the bodies were found, I guess?
It would seem so.
It's strange that they were left here. I would think that somebody would take them to get that authorization to enter the city.
Either our victim or a murderer had the ability to come and go out of the city as they pleased.
So he begins to read it to see if there's any names or Anything that can pick up from the writing?
Okay, roll a perception check.
There's dirt all over it.
Oh no.
Does Nigel want to do as well?
Oh, Nigel was staring off in the distance.
Okay.
Perfect.
All right, yeah, he'll roll a perception check.
Okay.
I see nothing.
Um.
I like how you did better with a -1 modifier.
So Nigel looks at it. He can tell there's something strange about the insignia, but he's not experienced enough with it to decipher exactly if it's a real or a fake insignia on it. But he notices enough that there might be something off about it.
I think we better take this back to the party.
Yeah, good idea.
So I guess we make our way back.
Okay. Who was looking?
Me, Takari, and Ruin were looking at the park boundary for clues.
Yeah, tell me what Takari found, Duro. Tell me what she found.
Some bugs. A couple
Some really-
pill bugs.
Really cool bugs. Okay, they're really cool.
She found the park boundary.
No, she didn't even find that.
Me too.
Trip
Not
over.
bad.
Okay. Whoever's at the park boundary, go ahead and roll investigation.
We did.
Oh yeah, I may do that before. Okay, so Belgara finds more of the alchemical substance on the city street.
All right. She's gonna look to Takari and Ruin and inform them that looks as though we have a theme here. I've found more of this substance on the street. Nothing more though. Let's go group up with everybody else.
Takari promptly drops all of the cool bugs that she found to follow along.
Ruin will follow as well.
Okay, you all meet up again.
Well, gentlemen, did you find anything? We seem to have only found more of that substance that I found on the tree. Hoping you maybe found something a little better.
Ergoth kind of looks at Nigel and kind of like beckons him with his head to give Belgara the note.
Oh yes, we came across these. Nigel pulls out the papers. Yes, these are quite strange. It appears to be some sort of authorization to enter the city and to reside here. Also, not sure. Needs a second look, but I think this insignia looks a little off.
Belgara's gonna take the papers and look them over as he's speaking to her and see if she notices anything off about them.
Okay, go ahead and roll perception.
Ooh, I got spicy dice tonight, guys. This is kind of exciting. Ooh, spicy dice.
Does anyone know how to get the rollers to only roll one number?
So if you go to your character sheet and go to the little gear next to spells.
Got it.
Yeah, and then just change your roll query to query advantage. Then it'll just ask you now when you roll if you want to roll normal or advantage or disadvantage. I'm not sure what he wants. I mean, I got a 16. We'll see what he says from a 16. Hello, Ayasu.
I do it just so you don't have to roll twice if you have advantage.
Yeah, I like just having both of them up personally.
I like the option of being able to roll it as advantage or just a normal roll. That's just because I'm anal, though. Do I notice anything off about the papers?
Belgra notices that these papers are a forgery.
Ah, Nigel, I believe you're onto something here. It looks as though these papers are a forgery.
Nigel smirks and looks at everybody else.
Yes, well done, darling. That's like the verbal equivalent of a head pat.
Nigel's quite pleased.
Ariel's head pat is he like smirks and then just kind of nods while he looks at him.
Takari head pats herself.
Belgara reaches over and takes Takari by the wrist and kind of lowers her hand and says, there, darling, it's fine, don't worry, everything will be okay.
Ruin just sighs. A really painful slow
Oh
sigh.
no, poor Ruin. Oh, you're the Durethil of this campaign. Enjoy your tortured existence. Surrounded by idiots. I like the manual rolling option too. It's really great. But I love Roll20 is great. It's
Okay.
so user friendly.
have,
It's such a good program.
Ergolf was kind of lost in thought. He's like, now we have two things to investigate: the moratorium and who could have done these forgeries.
Right. Well, if you don't mind, Nigel, I'm going to keep a hold of this document so we can bring it along with us to be looked at by somebody. She
By
kind
all
of
means.
folds the paper up and slips it into her pocket.
Where to next?
I would really like to get a look at these carvings on the bodies.
I agree, Ruin. I say we should go to the mortuary prompt.
Nigel agrees.
Takari, she also shakes her head, or she nods her head vigorously. Yeah, as much as that really, kind of freaks me out, I'm quite upset about it. But I suppose that we should go look at these bodies.
Do not be freaked out by the death house. It's the most natural place in town.
Oh, darling, you don't have to go inside. You can sit outside and wait for us. It's perfectly fine.
No, there might be bugs in there that I like, so I'll go inside. It's fine.
As long as you're comfortable, then whatever you choose.
Ergolf looks at Takari. Have you ever seen a dead body before?
I've hunted in the wilds before. Does that count?
Maybe.
Would you like to see one now?
Oh my.
Not a new one.
Perhaps later.
Maybe. We'll see.
That sounds like a line to a opening of a very horrible movie.
Oh, God.
Ergolf,
We're
starts
all
making his
level
way
1,
towards
Jeff. This is the
what
very
he would
beginning of
assume
this campaign,
the
day
moratorium
1.
would be towards the city, and he kind of like slows down as he separates from the group.
Okay, everyone else is going, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Yes.
You arrive at the mortuarium, where a recently deceased can be seen being drawn in by cart. An elf woman stands nearby as she directs the worker. She wears a dark dress and shiny gold jewelry.
I'm not dead yet. Belgara approaches the elf woman and nods her head in greeting, and she seems very unfazed by the dead bodies moving in and out around her. And she says, hello, miss. I've been led here by a dwarf named Tormus. I believe some bodies have came in recently from the park grounds. Believed to be matters to deal with the cultists currently at large. Could we perhaps go see these bodies?
Yes, of course. You must be with the flaming fists.
Yes, ma'am. And she pulls out her emblem and shows it to the elf. Recent members, if you will.
Ruin will show his badge too, but he'll make sure he puts it just a little bit closer than Belgara.
Oh my god. Belgara is unfazed by his childish behavior.
Aragolf is actually trying to like attach it to his cloak while he's standing by the door, and he's pointing to it as he's doing so.
Nigel is admiring her jewelry. How secure is her jewelry?
Oh no.
It begins.
Did you say how secure is her jewelry?
Oh my god.
Yeah, is there like any like loose bracelets or anything like that?
I suppose so. Yeah, she has a gold bracelet around her wrist.
So Nigel kind of like rubs his chin and he thinks better of it. He shakes his head.
Well, okay. She continues. The bodies have been preserved in the ground. Right this way.
Belgara follows her.
Likewise.
Also-
Leilena brings you into a dark room lit by candles. All of the bodies have been sliced into with a sharp knife. Not by us, of course.
Nigel says into or into?
Into, as in they were cut. But I'm sure you could have deduced that yourself. I'll just stand here and wait for you to do your investigation.
Belgara's gonna begin to look over the bodies.
Ruin, very interested, is also looking.
Nigel starts. What's in the room?
Oh god.
There are candles and stone slabs in which bodies are being preserved on top of. They're being preserved with, I forget that spell, Revivify?
Revivify would bring him back to life, and that sounds
Yeah.
horrifying.
Takari would not like that.
I forget what the spell is called, but it allows the caster to preserve a body for, I think, a day or so.
Yeah, I think I know what spell you're talking about. I can't remember the name of it either.
Is there any of that tanning solution around or anything that looks like it? I'm just thinking it might be a preservative.
Go ahead and, whoever's looking at the bodies, go ahead and roll a perception check.
I think gentle repose.
Oh,
is
finally
what
a
you're
crappy
looking for.
roll.
Yes, gentle repose.
Ah, thank you, Mask.
Okay, so we have 3 people looking.
Yeah, Takari does not want to look, and in fact turns just to face the wall.
There are some things that are evident straight off. There are signs of ritual carvings, which you realize are consistent with arcane languages.
Do they all have the same carvings, or are they all different?
They're all the same carvings.
Can I roll to see if I know what any of that means?
Yes, you can roll either Arcana or Religion. Also, you find there are pentagrammic sigils and glyph circles, suggesting some sort of terrible bloody rite.
I'd like to roll too, if I can see what I know what those languages are.
Yes, go ahead.
I don't.
Started off hot.
Yep.
Not so much anymore.
Ergal sees them kind of confused, wants to know what they're trying to figure out.
Belgara's gonna look up to the elf, because she's still there, right? She's just kind of like hanging out in the room while we look.
Sorry, could you repeat that?
The elf that let us in, she's still in the room with us, right? She's like hanging out.
Yes.
So
her name is Leilena.
All right, so Belgara's gonna look at Leilena and say, these sigils carved into the bodies, I can't quite decipher what these are. Do you know anything about these?
I forget what her voice was. I can tell you some things. That's the wrong voice again.
It's okay, Duro.
Close enough.
She's got a cold.
Oh, let's go with my voice here. Okay, so the runes are praises to dark gods, invoking their right of dominion over all the mortal planes.
Belgara shakes her head and says, perhaps these gods are the dead three?
Was that to the party?
I know, she's talking to the elf.
They could be. I do know a little bit about their language. It says, all cities shall fall to darkness. That which was foretold in the prophecies of blood is upon us. The spawn shall rise from mortal flesh. None shall live save those who suffer their kin unto the heirs of Jergal. Or something of the thing.
The prophecies of blood, is that what you said?
Yes, the prophecy of blood is upon us.
Do you know anything of this prophecy of blood? I'm here to ask all the questions. I'm a pest.
I cannot say, but I do know the name Jergal.
Durgal.
Yes, do you know Jergal?
Would she know him? Is he someone in the city?
Roll a Arcana check.
Well, I
Oh,
can't
so
say
close.
that I know this Jurgle, but could he potentially help us?
I can't say he will, for he is, or shall I say was, the god of death until the three took over.
I
How do
see.
you spell this name?
The 3 meaning the dead 3, of course.
Do you know of anybody in this city who would know anything about the blood prophecy? Living, of course.
Would I have heard anything about the blood prophecy growing up or being raised in that temple, Duro? I'm guessing no, which is what I'd ask.
Roll Arcana.
It's not my strength, but can I roll as well, Arcana?
Go ahead.
Definitely not your strength, bud.
Ruin wouldn't know specifically about it, but would likely assume that it's part of the dogma of the Dead 3 cultists.
Okay.
Does she know anyone living in
I'm
town
not
that
familiar
could
with the
direct
particulars
us?
of the prophecy of blood, but I am very certain it is something that cultists of this nature believe in and are trying to make happen.
I see.
And honestly, it doesn't
The
sound so
Dead
bad.
3!
Okay, so there are other things that you find on these bodies. So
Tippers.
you find these symbols as well. So go ahead and roll. If you're looking, roll religion.
Now you are vampire.
B-Town, thank you so much for the subscription. Holy crap, a Prime subscription. 2 months. I feel very special that you chose me to use your Prime subscription on. You only get one of those.
Placed in everyone's
really awesome.
journal. A picture.
Holy shit, I got a 21 on my religion roll. Look at me go.
The symbols.
Like those.
Those are very spooky.
Ergoth does like a really rudimentary sketch of him in his notebook.
Belgra notices that this is the holy symbols of Bane, Mirkul, and Bal.
I share that information with the party.
Okay, so Ergoth gets the information and asks Belgara which name belongs to which symbol.
I point that out for him.
The hand is Bane. The triangle and the skull is Bal, and the skull with the little dots around it is Mirkul.
Alrighty.
Okay, I had you guys roll an investigation before, right?
Yeah, you did.
Okay, you also find more of the alkaline solution.
Was the elf able to answer me on if she knew anyone living in town that knew more about the blood prophecy?
She does not know either. I don't remember if I told you.
Okay, cool.
She doesn't know.
So you just said that there's more of that strange solution that we found
Yeah.
at the locations or here at the moratorium?
Yes, it is on the bodies.
Have we asked her about it yet?
No, we haven't.
So Aragoth asks him about this solution and what it's used for.
Well, you know what it's used for, I told you already.
Aragoth forgot.
Oh my word. Belgara just kind of like shakes her head, but remains polite.
He's actually trying to get a beat on the I guess the mortician, see if she knows anything that doesn't want to tell us.
Well, I could figure that out.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it might not be the best way.
Okay, so you're asking her if she knows of anything about the solution?
Yeah.
Full persuasion.
Ooh, that is not my strength. Okay. My persuasion is only intimidation, but I don't want to intimidate her, so.
Wow.
Still a good
Hey.
roll.
So I turned to Belgara and I asked her, this solution again. What was it used for? That we found the scent of on the at the crime scene.
It's used in hide tanning.
Hide tanning. Okay.
Okay, so you're asking the woman if she knows anything?
Yeah. Well, I'm asking her why it would smell like hide tanning, and does she know, anything that we wouldn't know about it?
Now you are vampire.
Well, I
Thank you
can't
for the gifted sub,
I
B-Town!
can't say for sure if I know for certain where this solution has come from, but I'm sure you've heard of the poison Poseidon. It's not too far away from here. They're actually quite well at their tanning. They might have more information which you seek.
So I turned to Belgara and be like, huh? Should we?
I believe it seems like the next logical step.
Before we go, Duro, I just want to make sure that when we look at that body
Thank
and we
you.
see the carvings into the body, they're actually just cuts. They're not like strips of skin taken off.
No, it's just cuts.
Okay, thank you.
All right, Aragoth takes his final notes and then puts his notepad back in his pocket.
But before you go, I was able to collect their belongings that they had with them as well, if you wanted to look at those.
I assume we should probably go through those things. It might tell us a little more about them.
Agreed.
Takari finally turns around from facing the wall and is very enthused about looking through other people's items.
Methinks there's two people in this room who would be really excited to look through other people's shit.
Nigel is visibly excited.
Belgara notices both of them practically drooling at the opportunity to go through other people's stuff. And she says to them, well, I believe you should have at it. I mean, seems as though you two have a preference for these kind of things. She kind of steps back from the stuff and lets them go for it.
Yeah, I give them space as well.
Now, Ruin has no interest in going through that shit unless he has to.
Takari's just very nosy and painfully curious about the world and needs to know what people have, and so she steps forward to start rummaging through.
Look at this stuff, isn't it neat?
Literally.
I've got gadgets and gizmos aplenty. Alright, I'm gonna go get a drink, I'll be right back.
Alright.
Okay. Everyone who wants to search through the things, go ahead
There's
and
your
roll.
little bit of fucking
An
mermaid
investigation.
music from me.
Nice.
And go ahead and roll a perception too, just so we have it out of the way.
I'll perceive what Takari's looking through. find anything fun, Takari?
I think so. She just very excitedly just rummages and smells and possibly licks items.
All right, I'm
Okay.
back. Did I miss anything?
No. So we'll just go down the list of people. So for Eduarda, you find more paperwork, refugee paperwork. You also find he was carrying a picture with him. It depicts an older gentleman wearing garb that would be worn by an Elturelan, either a guard or maybe part of the bigger groups that are there.
Okay.
On Wemba Oshrat, I think that's the next person. No, let's go to Ed Murray Akila. Once again, he finds refugee paperwork. You also find a business card. It reads, I'll type it out. It reads Amric and Vantham per services.
So Aragoth sees Takari looking at the business card and asks if he can take a look at it.
Takari hands it over pretty amiably.
Okay. I'm gonna ask the mortician about it. If she has any idea, or perhaps actually, can I roll something to see if I know what this is?
You would know who it is without rolling.
Okay.
Amric Vantham is the son of... I always forget her name.
Ooh, excuse me. Hey, Virgo!
Son of, I always forget her name. Aragoth.
Exactly.
Started a new D&D campaign tonight with Duro. No, I think the fizzies of my Coca-Cola crept down in a weird spot and made me randomly
Leave
cough.
my note on it.
No COVID here. I'm actually just getting over the flu. I had the flu for like 2 weeks. It was terrible.
Second youngest son of Thalmara Vantham of Baldur's Gate in the late 15th century.
No, I don't ever get the flu shot.
Let me pull up my other notes.
I let my body just do its own magic. Figure it out. Sorry you got COVID, bud. I hope you're all
So I could
right.
say, yes, so I know this person, right? You said.
Yeah, one second, I got it.
Okay.
Duke Thalmara Vanthampur, one of the 4 leaders of the city. Amric Vanthampur is her son.
Okay. So I see the card, and I look up Belgara. I kind of give her like a wary look, and I say, "This guy is trouble. I know a little bit about him just through my dealings of the my armed escort services. We might want to be wary of where we're headed."
Good looking out.
And then I hand Belgara the business card.
My stream froze? I'm gonna take that and put it in my pocket with the paperwork I already have from earlier.
Duro, does Takari know that the paperwork is also a forgery? The paperwork that Belgara has?
I believe you were there when Belgra shared the information.
Okay. Takari looks over and she hands the paperwork that she found with Belgara and points to it wildly, like, look, look, look!
Belgara takes the paperwork and kind of scans it over. Is this another fake? Duro?
Yes.
It is? Okay. Fake, just like the other, she says. Oh no, I'm sorry to hear that, Jeff. That's not good at all.
There's one more person you needed to look over, which is Annika Silverleaf. On her, you find she carries an emblem with a depicting the Order of the Champion, which is an order in Elturel of knights and those sorts.
I don't think Takari would know anything about what that is. So she hands it to Belgara as well.
Do we all know that Elturel has disappeared?
Yes, everyone knows.
Okay.
And I know what this emblem is by looking at it.
Yes, it is prominent if you were to ever even travel in the direction of Elturel.
Okay, so I take the emblem and I look it over and I kind of look back to the party and say, things just keep getting more and more interesting. Seems like this person had something to do with Elturel themselves. And she flashes the emblem to the rest of the party so they can see and understand what she's talking about.
Yeah, Aragoth nods and he ponders for a bit and says, "I think somebody's just running a forgery scheme to get people into the city who don't belong, perhaps, or aren't welcomed."
Does Annika have any of the refugee paperwork on her, or does she just have that emblem on her?
She also has forged paperwork with her.
Okay, and it's the same as everybody else.
Yes.
So just to recap, what we have here is a bunch of refugees who've been murdered in a ritualistic way, with all with forged documents and pretty clearly from Elturel.
One of them is for sure from Elturel. The others, could be from somewhere else, but considering the circumstances, you're probably guessing then, yeah, they are from Elturel.
Well, yeah, one had the emblem and other was wearing garb that was from Elturel.
Man, Jeff, I'm so sorry to hear that. That's really rough.
Yeah, they would be, actually. They would be,
I
they'd
hope
be
she
wearing
gets better.
Elturel-ish garments as well.
Is there anything else to investigate? We've looked at their clothes, their bodies.
That is everything you're able to find.
Yeah, this is a pretty deep lead with this Emmerich on the card. I wonder if we should bring what we know to our the guy that gave us the badge or the badges. What do you think?
I think we should go to this tannery first and see what we can find there.
I second the tannery.
I feel once we start digging into Amarak, that's gonna be a pretty deep hole.
I agree, and I think if we take this information to our what's the guy's name that gave us the badge again?
Captain Zaj.
Zaj, right? Like Baragoth kind of like kind of shifts his weight and be like, this city is pretty corrupt to begin with, so I'm kind of afraid to tell people who we know or what we know of who we know in case they kind of go behind our backs. So I kind of second that. We should go to the tannery, find more information to have ourselves more prepared to even our leaders, just in case.
I agree.
I don't care where the hell we go, as long as we live here, promptly.
Alright. Aragoth thanks Leilana and makes his way again out the door.
Okay, so you all know where. Well, Nigel, did you want to do anything with that gold bracelet before you leave?
No.
Okay.
And,
You
and
had-
by the way, so Aragoth does this thing where he just leaves, in case you've noticed. But it's totally up to you guys. Like you can like either tell him like, hey, wait a minute, or follow, or that's just what he does. He kind of like doesn't. He's a little bit inconsiderate, but like in a well-meaning way. If that makes any sense.
Belgara just follows him out.
All right.
She likes his initiative.
Yeah, he has initiative, but he's a little bit rude about it.
He's no nonsense, and she appreciates that.
Yeah. Takari scurries behind them both quickly.
You can be our baby child.
I'm the baby.
Ruin will follow up the rear.
Grumpy grandpa.
Mm-hmm.
Nigel as well.
Unpredictable uncle.
That's the roles now. We figured it out, everybody.
I like where her head is at, Jeff. Even in dire moments, she is still
Yeah,
concerned
Aragoth
about
made
her
his way out.
D&D game,
I
and
guess
I
once the
respect
party
the shit out of
kind
that.
Agreed on it.
That's
he
a good
kind of
woman.
Slows down and lets Belgara take the lead to the.
But yeah, she needs to take care of herself. Very important.
So the poisoned Poseidon is about here in this general direction. So yeah, you arrive there at the poisoned Poseidon. A rank smell permeates the air from the tannery chemicals. The ship rests on a stone pier, and the mast was cut long ago. A wooden staircase on the north side of the ship leads up to the deck.
Is this a tannery on a ship?
Yes.
This is a mobile tannery?
Well, it's more like a marooned ship tannery.
Oh God.
Look, everybody needs to have a niche, okay?
Are there people around? Like, are there people on the ship, or what's up? You better not,
There
Jeff.
is no one out on the deck at the moment, but you do see piles of hides that are ready for sale that are resting out on the deck.
Okay, Belgaro's gonna go up to the deck and just kind of start walking around and looking at the hides and almost to appear as though she's like possibly a customer that wants to purchase.
Is there any way that Takari can try and see if these hides are a certain type of animal?
Yeah, go ahead and roll nature.
Never mind.
Oh my God, the RNG gods are frowning upon you this evening.
So
Oh,
Erikoff looks at Takari, confused at what she's looking at, and can I go ahead and roll nature and see if I can?
Yeah, go ahead. So Belgra notices there's a door to your west, and then there are two doors to your east.
The doors on the ship.
Yes, there are doors on the ship, and there's also a staircase in the center of the ship.
Is one of them clearly like the main door for like the store? Like, we want to talk to someone at this tannery. Like, is there a sign above it, or?
Yes, the second door on the east. It has an open window in the door. They're able to see two men sitting at tables.
Nigel asks, should we proceed in?
Nigel, how do you feel about perhaps a little eavesdropping? No one seemed to have noticed us quite yet, and, well, I don't think anyone will notice you at all if you don't wish to be noticed, am I right?
You may be correct. And so Nigel heads over and he sneaks. Tries to eavesdrop on the conversation.
Give me a stealth check.
Not very stealthy today.
Buddy.
Well, let's see. Okay, let me find my notes real quick.
I'll be right back.
Okay, so I wasn't able to like figure out how to do it on my character sheet, but I have expertise, and so my proficiency bonus was doubled for stealth as one of my chosen skills. So that would actually be a roll of 13.
Okay, so I think you can just I'll have to check.
I think there's a spot where you can, like, any expertises you have underneath your attacks and spellcasting that you can, like, check them on or off kind of deal, and it should affect your rolls. But I might be wrong.
Sorry, ignore that. Oh, I see it. It's in. Looks like I can go into the character sheet and maybe add to certain skills from the gear in the top right corner after bio and spells and all that.
So Nigel sneaks up and hides by the door.
What's Nigel up to now?
He is trying to spy on the two men that are sitting in this room here.
Eavesdropping.
Yeah, essentially. You hear one of them say, "Boss expects more fists from the bathhouse within 10 days."
He expects more what?
Fists.
And within 10 days.
Yes.
And, sorry, he expects more fists at the bathhouse within 10 days?
Expects more fists from the bathhouse within the 10-day.
Okay. All right. Nigel heads back to the party then. And so they're in there talking about something about the boss expecting more fists within 10 days from the bathhouse. Does this ring a bell for anyone?
Well, I believe we would be the fists, darling. They do seem to be recruiting quite heavily currently, given the situation. Did you hear anything else?
No.
We're 5 of those 10, perhaps, or should we pretend that we are?
I'm not sure if this is a good or a bad thing.
10-day as in within 10 days.
Oh, gotcha. Maybe it is us. Ergolf's intelligence is 10, by the way. But he tries.
Big time smart boy. Interesting. They're expecting us, but I don't know if this is a good thing. And you didn't hear anything else?
No.
I'm not quite sure what to make of that.
I wonder if we can kind of acquaint ourselves with this group or these 2 people, see if we can find out any more information. But I guess since we have the fists on our badge, that might work against us.
Oh, sweet child, you're the only one who pinned your badge to your chest like it's some honor.
Yeah. Hikari checks her clothes just to make sure she didn't accidentally pin the badge to her chest. She did not. And then, as if she's very knowing, which she's not, tuts at Aragog, like, shame.
Perhaps you should go in with your fancy badge on your chest and see how they react to you, and we'll stand by and watch.
Takari nods vigorously.
You hear a door open behind you.
Oh, Ergolf was thinking about it.
Here's your chance! And Belgara kind of like distances herself from him and like goes back to looking at everything around them like she's a purchasing customer.
Takari looks for bugs.
So Ergolf kind of catches on and tries to like play off like he's not really like he's not acquainted with the party he's with right now, just to kind of see if he can have an element of surprise just in case.
One of the men from that room, Nigel was listening in on, he walks out.
Oh, hydrate! I'm sorry, B-Town, I missed that.
Notices the 5 of you standing there.
Nigel's also browsing the goods.
He's Ergoff is standing next to Nigel, kind of pretending that he's making sure he's not stealing.
Ruin's just staring at the new people. Or the new guy came up. He's got his trident firmly planted on the deck.
The man speaks out to you all. He says, "Coming for some skins."
Nigel says, "Aye. Just looking at what you have here. Can you tell us how much for?" He holds up a pelt.
Yes, we have premium cow's hide.
A cow. I was wondering.
2 silver per square foot.
Ergoff ears perk because he's into the leather thing.
Oh my god. This
How much
is
again?
amazing.
2 silver per square foot of cow's hide.
How much would 1 gold get me?
Oh my god.
5 square feet.
Okay, thank you.
I'm just dying
curious.
that Takari and Aragoth didn't realize that they were looking at cow hides. And you're fucking
Right.
rangers. You're fucking
Listen.
rangers.
Listen. Listen, I could explain.
I've
It was
never
so
seen
well
a cow.
crafted, I couldn't tell.
Takari just keeps looking at bugs.
Nigel says these are quite fine hides, and he's trying to start up like a conversation about like tanning, that sort of thing. Maybe this guy will engage in conversation.
Oh no. But there's
Yeah, you just want
farms
to have
around
like
us.
a general conversation about tanning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna because I see where Nigel's going with it. I'm gonna go ahead and buy 2.5 square feet of the leather and kind of ask him questions about tanning.
Okay. Do either of you want to ask any specific questions, or just neither of you are sure of what involves tanning?
Nigel wants to ask him about like the tanning process, how it's done, and eventually get to what kind of solutions are used in like to use to tan hides. See if he knows anything about it. And eventually maybe ask them if they sell that tanning solution here.
Yeah, Ergolf's just waiting for a response from the heat.
Cows do not live in the forest, no.
I'm gonna be real quick, guys.
Okay. One second. I'm trying to see if I have notes specifically about the tanning process or not. He says, "Yes, we use the highest quality materials here at Poison Poseidon."
Could you tell me any recent customers you've had that have been purchasing any of these materials, either the leather or the leathering material, leathering solutions?
I'm sorry, but I cannot divulge our company secrets, including our customers.
Can I roll an insight to see if he's lying?
I'm gonna do the same.
Well, Sure, but he's not really. I don't know what he would be lying about, but I guess you could kind of see about his body language when he says that.
Yeah, if he's like hiding something.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, my character sheet disappeared.
Oops. So, yeah, I rolled a 19. Well, my badge, like, if he sees my badge, will it give me, like, basically, like, almost like a free reign of the information?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
The man appears to be quite stoic in his response, and his knowledge of tannery materials didn't seem out of the question.
Do we still? Never mind. For some reason, I thought somebody had a sample of the tanning solution, but I don't think anybody has it.
Yes, you did pick up a sample of. It was determined to be an alkaline solution of wood ash and lime.
Okay.
Belgara is going to approach the two speaking to the man. And she's going to say to him, can you tell me anything about your tanning process that is possibly different than someone else's in town? Perhaps a reason for me to shop here and not elsewhere.
Why, yes, of course. Here at the Poison Poseidon, we use the top quality materials, even down to the cherry wood ash and lime that we use in our processes.
I see. And do you sell your chemicals? Perhaps if someone's attempting to learn such a trade skill on their own? Kind of fumbled over my words there.
Can I look to see while they're having this conversation if the customer log is nearby or within sight?
You don't see any logs nearby. For Belgara, I'm sorry, but I'm not at liberty to provide the public with our materials.
Very well, sir. I appreciate that.
Hold. Ruin steps right up in between Belgara and that guy.
Oh god.
Really close.
Oh god.
You. This is a ship, is it not?
Yes, it is a ship. What of it?
The boards look nice. It is in great condition. Have you paid tribute to my mistress recently?
Oh
All
god.
who ride the seas must pay her tribute.
Ruin is great.
Well, as you can see, we do not have a mast on this ship.
It matters not. It rides the seas. It demands tribute. If you've not paid tribute, I will accept tribute as the lists of your customers, and I will receive it now, or I will have a word with my mistress and sink this boat.
Jesus.
Aragal's eyebrow kind of, raises. He backs up and kind of wants to see how this pans out.
Belgara is standing behind Ruin, like just silently smirking at the situation.
Go ahead and roll intimidation.
God, I need a good roll.
I hope so.
I believe in you.
Oh god.
Yeah.
Okay, remind me what you were trying to do?
I try to force him to give me the customer log of who he sold that substance to.
Well, he didn't say he sold anything to anyone.
That's fine. If he didn't, if he hasn't sold any of that substance, then that answer would be sufficient.
Okay. So you're asking for the logs, so
Within like the past 10 to 15 days.
Takari starts like slinking away.
Nigel does the same.
he says, but of course, we would not want to incur the wrath of Umberly. So he goes back into that room that he came out of.
Aragoth is gonna stand behind Ruin and Belgara and just have like one eye kind of like over both their shoulders.
Yeah, Ruin's gonna look over his shoulder and say, "Beware treachery."
He goes in there for a few moments and then comes out with a book in hand. And he hands it to you.
I'll take it and hand it to Belgara.
I open it and start looking through it, just thumbing through pages behind Ruin.
I'll turn back around to the guy and tell him, "Your tribute is now current. Do not be lax again."
I look at him, the dude, and I ask him, "This is the log, right? You're giving us the real log?"
Of course.
Is he lying?
I can do an insight check.
Well then.
Nice.
Oof.
You notice, although he seems a bit defeated, he is it appears he is truthful.
Okay.
Belgra,
Oh,
roll
there
me
you are.
an investigation as you look through the book.
Come on, I did my part.
Pressure.
I
Oh
know.
my god. Oh my god.
Belgra takes a quick look through the book, finds nothing amiss. People have come in, bought materials, they have bought hides. No one in particular that you notice stands out. Just seems to be normal people buying hides.
May
I take a look at it?
Say to Ruin, I don't believe I see anything amiss, but perhaps a second set of eyes would be best just in case. And she hands the book. She kind of like holds the book open and out to everyone standing near her to be able to look at. Hey Odilic, thank you for the follow. My apologies.
Ruin's
Thank you
not
for
even
this
gonna look at it.
follow.
He's still
Welcome
just
to the
staring at
cult.
Sailor dude, the tannery guy.
Takari scurries though. Oh, I guess never mind.
We can all look, right?
The man steps back as you all look at this. So Aragoth looks through the book, and he also finds that the book is legitimate. There's no names that stand out. There appears to be no weird, anything weird about it.
Okay. Yeah, Ergoth looks at it and he just kind of wants to like see any names that he can tie within the time frame of when the bodies were found. But other than that, that's basically just what he's doing. He wants to take notes, probably write down a few names.
I just want to like reiterate, like Nigel slinked away when he had gone back into the ship. Nigel's kind of like scoping out the rest of this area. I think Nigel's thinking about sneaking into one of the other doors.
Yeah, I was going to ask Duro, is that door that he came out of still open or is it closed?
It is closed.
Can Takari try and sneak on over there using some stealth? And try and open it?
Yeah, you can try to open it. Go ahead. For Nigel, there are 2 other doors you can look through.
Am I just rolling a stealth check for that?
Yes, both of you roll stealth checks.
Ooh.
Nice.
That's a good roll.
You guys go.
For Takari,
Damn.
as you approach the door, you do notice that there is another man in that room.
Is he saying anything or doing anything? Can I, like, peek in there or something? Or listen in real quickly?
Let me see my notes for that. And then for Nigel, which door, do you want to look in the western door or the eastern door?
Can you describe them again? The western door and the eastern door?
The western door is a double door. And then the eastern door is just south of that door you were looking at, where the 2 men were.
Okay, so if that eastern door sounds like it's more exposed to
so
where
amazing.
that other dude is right now. So I'd be pretty visible.
Yeah, the western door.
Belgara is very heavily...
it seems like there's less chance of me being spotted by the western double doors.
Belgara is very heavily inspired by Polgara, obviously.
The western double doors are being looked at around the general area of the man. You could sneak behind him to go to the other eastern door that he came out of. The one south of the door he came out of.
Okay. I guess I'll go through the eastern door. Sneak behind him and go for the eastern door.
So while that's happening, Ergoth had been writing all the names down for like the time frame, just to have that information, and then he hands the book back to the storekeeper.
Okay. I was gonna look up names, but if it comes up again, I'll pick a name for you.
Cool.
Okay, so for Takari, you see that he's reading off a note. You can't see exactly what it says though, but that's what he's doing. For Nigel, it appears the door is locked.
Nigel puts his ear to the door.
Is there any way that Takari can sneak in and try and get a better look at this guy, if he's got a recognizable face or any features?
So there's a window open. You could look at him.
Oh.
There's a window in the door. It's more like a shop front.
But she wouldn't be able to actually like see the note or what's on it if she looks through that window.
No, it's written too small. It's on a piece of paper.
Okay. Okay, then she's gonna try and take a good look at this guy's face and then see if if he has any recognizable features or anything that really sticks out.
He has a scar on his left cheek. It's very noticeable.
Okay, all right. Takari is gonna slink back towards the rest of the group.
For Nigel, roll a perception check for that listening. Nigel does not hear anything on the other side of the door.
Nigel, it's locked, so I assume there's a keyhole. Can Nigel peer through the keyhole?
Yes, go ahead and do a Thieves' Tool check if you want to try to open it.
Oh, can he see through the keyhole? See on the outside
Oh,
door?
see through it. Yeah, it's large enough. It's an older ship. Probably cheaper too. You look through it and you don't see anyone, but you do see at the other end a desk.
All right, so Nigel, he double checks his surroundings. Does he look pretty, clear? No one looking at him?
No one's looking at him at the moment.
Okay, so Nigel's gonna try to pick the lock.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh crap.
Sleight of hand, right?
You can use your lock picking tool.
Yeah, I should be able to just click on your lockpicking tools. Boom.
Do or do not. There is no try. What a great Yoda quote.
Nigel opens the door, or unlocks it at least.
Okay, he's gonna slowly turn the handle, open the door.
Okay, he opens the door, enters.
Okay, so he's surveying the room. What does he see in the room?
The room is empty, save for a bed and a desk on the other side. There's also a bear rug in the center.
Nigel's gonna slowly close the door behind him and creep over to the desk.
On the desk, you see a stack of papers.
So he searches through the papers.
Okay, I'll tell you in a second what's on them. I'm editing them real quick. And then I'll put it in your journal so you can read them.
Do I notice that Nigel and Takari are missing?
Yeah, you don't see them.
At that point, I get a little bit curious and or suspicious as to where they went.
Well, Takari's slinking on back over with the rest of the group.
Okay. Ergoth looks at Takari. I guess you're on your way back, and I kind of like give you like a confused look, like where'd you go?
Takari winks at him, but like in a wink wonk, like she can't wink. Okay.
Right.
She tries to wink, she can't wink. She wink wonks at him, and like as if to say, "I'll tell you later."
Okay. Ergoth nods, kind of surreptitiously, I suppose. But he also doesn't look like, where's Nigel?
Okay, Nigel, I have put the notes in your journal so you can read them. It's called Poison Poseidon Note. While he's reading that, what is everyone else doing? I think gave back the book to the guy,
Thanks,
right?
Bones.
Yep. Yeah, he has it back.
I'm just watching that guy.
I look at the storekeeper and I say, so 2.5 square feet of your finest leather, please.
Of course. I'll have that ready for you in a moment. He picks up the hides that are stacked and brings it into
Good stretch.
into that room the other man is in, and have some prepared.
And I ask him how much that's going to be for the 2.5 square feet.
2.5 square feet, that will be 6 silver.
Takari kind of looks over at Belgara and like nods her head off to the side as if to say, "We need to talk."
Are we standing on the deck still, and the guys are in the room doing the order?
Yes. The
Okay.
2 men are in there filling out the order. Nigel is missing, and that leaves you 4 on the deck.
Heck
I'm
yeah,
just gonna make sure that I
B-Town.
stand between the door and everybody else if they back off.
Belgara is going to follow Takari over.
Once they've put enough, a little bit of distance, Takari whispers to Belgara, "There's a man in that room. He's got a big scar on his face. He's reading some sort of note. I tried to get a good look at it, but I couldn't see what he was reading. A little bit concerned. It's a bit sketchy."
I see. Well, I think there's more to this place than we have yet to find out.
I agree.
Something
Nervous about
ominous is
this.
afoot here. We'll
Okay.
we'll find it out. Thank you for telling me.
You're welcome.
Oh my god, precious.
Takari goes back to looking just around generally, kind of glazed over as if she's not too sure what she's looking at.
Belgara just smiles and sighs and thinks about how that child needs a bath before returning back to the group.
Over her dead body.
Oh, just you wait.
It's Aaron all over again.
Yes, it is. The little female Aaron. Stinking the place up. The little dirty paw prints everywhere.
That's
Dirty peeps.
This is going to be every
Aragoth
other
is like,
Sunday.
Yeah, thanks for the leathers. I think as soon as I get them leathers and we do the exchange, we'll be on our way. And I say it kind of loud enough, hopefully, so that Nigel can hear him.
And Nigel, having pocketed the note, he runs his hands like so. Can you describe the desk? Are there any drawers?
There are no drawers. It is just a flat top desk.
Nigel runs his hand underneath the desk. Does he feel any secret compartments?
Nigel does not find any secret compartments.
Okay, and on his way out, he's going to check underneath the rug. He's going to flip it up real quick.
Nothing under the rug.
All right, he returns it to exactly where it was laying, and then he sneaks out of the room, slowly opening and slowly closing the door behind him, and returning to the party if he's not caught.
No one else is there for you to catch you.
And Nigel sees the party on the docks and makes his way back over.
Right, I wait for Nigel to be within like speaking distance and then follow the Bagara off the ship. I think you're headed off the ship, right?
Oh, no, I was just kind of standing around waiting for everybody else.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just waiting to see the whole party.
The man comes out and hands you the leather.
Yeah, Argoth takes it and gives him the 6 silver and thanks him. And also thanks him for letting him see or letting the party see the book. And says, yeah, we just needed a little bit of information about some goings-ons around here. And sorry if we were any trouble, but just needed to do our job. Thank you.
The man gives you a bow and turns around and goes back into the room.
Are we done here?
Belgara looks down to Nigel and lifts a curious eyebrow and says, I see you disappeared for a moment there. Perhaps that's something we can discuss once we are back on the dock and off the ship. And she doesn't wait for an answer, but turns and begins to walk off the ship.
I actually wait for Nigel to follow her, and I'm going to follow behind him.
So Nigel looks like he was about to say something like witty, and then just follows behind.
Dakari follows along, but she suddenly has a very sense of longing towards the dogs and other sea creatures. But she says nothing. She just simply goes home.
Drama.
Okay, you're all off the Poison Poseidon now.
I'm looking around for Ruin, see what he's up to.
I'm following along. As
Yeah.
soon as you guys are off, I'll make sure I'm the last one off the ship,
Okay.
and then I'll come.
Yeah, just I give Ruin a nod, like, hey, that was helpful.
Takari looks at Belgara like, tell them what I told you, but she doesn't want to say it herself.
Belgara looks to the group and says, seems as though our precious little Takari had a run-in with a very scary looking man inside the ship. Had a big scar on his face. Perhaps he could be a person of interest. And then she looks down to Nigel and says, so, find anything?
Nigel says, oh, yes, well, I had to go and relieve myself and happened upon this note. And he pulls out a note that he found in the ship and shares it with everybody. I found this in what appeared to be one of their bedrooms.
Okay, you're gonna share the note to everyone?
Yeah, as long as we're far away from that ship and out of eyesight and everything.
Okay, everyone should have the note now, so you can go ahead and read that.
I have no note.
No note.
Okay, one second.
Ergo's brow kind of furrows, and he looks at Nigel and he says, that could have been trouble. You should try to let us know what's going on before you do things like that. If you get caught alone.
Oh, now I see it.
Nigel
Good work.
agrees, says, of course.
Belgara looks at Aragoth and says, let the rogue do as the rogue wants. I'm sure he's well skilled in sneaking about.
I agree, but I just want to avoid trouble that we don't have to get ourselves into.
Of course, darling, we're all trying to avoid trouble, but, one must do what one must do.
Ergoth nods, and then he looks at Nigel, and he's like, he nods at him too. He's like, yeah, good work.
Oh, Nigel holds out his fist for a fist bump.
Takari smells his fist. She decides that that's the next route to take, as opposed to ignoring it.
Ergoff like looks right at him, like eye
Yeah,
contact,
this is
just,
the
like, puts
set
his
group
fist out,
for this B-Town.
awaiting the bump.
Belgara complies with the bump.
Could have everyone announce when you're done reading the note that I sent.
I'm working on it.
I'm definitely not fist bumping, I can tell you that.
Your hand smells weird. Okay, Takari finishes reading the note very, very slowly and sounding out most words.
Ruin is also done.
Well, it looks like Trouble's trying to find us already.
I told you trouble follows me.
Yeah, I'm finished.
Okay, everyone has finished reading, so go ahead and speak out your reactions to it.
Belgara remains silent and kind of looks around at everyone else's reactions. Kind of takes the scene in. Yeah, we
Everyone
have a
mumble
really
under his
good
breath.
group.
I should talk her into sinking that ship.
Sinking the landlocked ship.
Yep.
Who are Emrys and Vaz?
New enemies, it would seem. Does anyone know this emissary?
Takari shakes her head and says, I wonder if this is one of the notes of that scary man that I saw, what he was reading.
Oh, well, you saw him reading a note?
I saw him
couldn't it-
reading a note.
I doubt it was this one that
Well,
I pulled from another.
It could be another note that is in succession of this, is what Takari says. As if very know-it-all.
Ah, yes.
Ergoth writes down in his note, Emrys, Vaz, Nightblades, Fennis, and Emissary.
Okay, before we finish up for today, is there anything else anyone would like to say about these notes?
What is this line about? What does everyone think about the line about the sewer? I doubt he'll find the noxious fumes of the sewer we've been gifted under the bathhouse any better. Sounds like a next point of interest, maybe?
Certainly.
Yep.
Takari nods.
Ergoth has a note and he says, I'm not really sure what to make of it at the moment. I kind of need to ponder it alone. See what develop perhaps a contingency in case trouble happens.
Sounds like a very dangerous place. They could be moving people in and out of the city through that sewer as well.
So, yes, it sounds like the bathhouse and the sewer definitely interesting points. But it seems to me maybe we should bring it to Captain Zod's attention. There seems to be a traitor amongst the fists.
I agree. This emissary character.
Roll a religion check.
Everyone?
Yes, everyone roll a religion check. I'm going to try to fix some possible confusion.
Oh God. Oh, we're all very religious people, clearly.
Okay, so Aragoth and Nigel know that worshippers of Bane are also called Fists of Bane.
Okay, Nigel brings that up. You know, the fist could be the Fist of Bane, and not the Flaming Fist.
So many fists. How are we supposed to keep them all straight?
Nigel starts.
That clears up some confusion.
Takari stifles a chuckle at a very dirty joke that comes to mind.
Okay, so you have multiple points of interest to follow up on. So you could come back here, maybe investigate some more. You know of Amric Vanthampur, who is providing these, or he could be somewhat involved in providing the
Documents?
documents, yes, and there's something about a bathhouse.
And the sewer.
And the sewer, yes. Before we wrap up, does anyone want to tell us what your character is feeling right now? What's their general thoughts?
So Aragoth is kind of just trying to be like useful, and he kind of feels like already that he's already in over his head, but he's gonna give it his best, I guess. He kind of wants to find a place to rest and kind of like think about what to do next, and kind of talk to the party about their opinion on what to do.
Nigel's hungry.
Yes, I love it.
Takari's been within the city walls for so long that she's like starting to vibrate with anxiety.
Belgara thinks that there's nothing in the world a warm bath and a glass of wine couldn't fix right now.
Ruin's pretty sure doom is on its way, and he's not sure he wants to stop it.
Jesus.
Oh my God.
I think we should find a place of rest then.
If you guys want to rest up, begin the next session kind of discussing what exactly your next move will be. We can do that.
I like that. Maybe
Yeah.
we go to an
It
inn.
gives you all time to IRL think about it.
Belgara's gonna approach Takari and say, "Oh, my dear sweet child, I do believe it's time for a bath for you."
No! Takari flails and throws herself into the ground and cannot believe her ears and cannot believe the word bath.
Yep.
Gross, unfortunate, doesn't even like the idea that she has to somehow investigate a bath house, a whole house of baths. And she is distraught.